a magical path lined with thousands of red gates. The highlight of Fushimi Inari Shrine is this endless tunnel of Torii. But why are there so many? And what should you know before climbing to the sacred summit? Here's the history and culture of Fushimi Inari, as well as some tips for visiting. While the sacred areas of shrines and temples are generally limited to the buildings and its surrounding area, Fushimi Inari regards Mount Inari itself as the object of worship and a sacred place. Shinto, Japan's ancient religion, believes that gods reside in everything in nature, so it is not uncommon for mountains to be deified. From the Edo period, visitors began donating gates as thanks when their wishes came true. An illustration from around 1870 already shows them lined up. During the Meiji era, 7 sacred sites known as the Shichishinseki were established on Mount Inari. Around these areas, people began placing stone monuments and creating personal prayer spaces. In other words, their own small, private shrines. From then on, Torii gates were set up near each of the 7 sacred sites. And over time, the mountain became filled with rows of Torii gates stretching along its paths. Today, anyone can sponsor a Torii gate by donation, with applications handled through the shrine's website. Prices depend on size and location, from about 300,000 yen to 1.89 million yen as of 2025. Many companies also buy them, combining business promotion with prayer. Because demand is high, new Torii gates sometimes take years to install. The Torii gates are made of wood and last about 8 years in the mountain weather. When damaged, the shrine asks donors whether to repair, rebuild, or remove them. Torii gates are not permanent, and this cycle provides the shrine with a steady source of income.
Travel trivia. The writing on the Torii. Each Torii gate has the name of the sponsor and the date it was placed. The date is written in Japan's traditional calendar system. This system changes with each new emperor's reign. The current era is called Reiwa, and 2025 is the 7th year of Reiwa. There's no strict rule, but official papers from government offices usually use Japan's traditional calendar. Funny enough, many Japanese tend to forget the Japanese calendar system. You'll often hear people saying, "Wait, what year of Reiwa is it now?" in everyday conversation.
Japan has nearly 100,000 shrines, with many different types, such as Hachiman shrines, Tenman shrines, and Sengen shrines. Fushimi Inari, founded in 711, is the head shrine of more than 30,000 Inari shrines across the country. The word Inari contains the character, which means rice plant. This shows that Inari shrines were originally worshipped as guardians of agriculture and crops. The name Inari itself comes from Inenali, meaning the rice grows. Today, Inari is also believed to bring prosperity in business, growth in industry, and success in many fields beyond farming. For the Japanese, a farming people, rice fields and rice itself have been central to cultural identity. Japanese sake, brewed from rice, is still considered a sacred drink and is essential in rituals and traditional ceremonies. As a side note, even Japanese yakuza gangs value traditional customs, and sake is often used in their ritual gatherings as well. Komainu. Most shrines are guarded by komainu. At Inari shrines, however, the guardians are foxes. In Western Christian tradition, foxes are often seen as sly or cunning. In Japan, though, they carry no negative meaning. Within Inari worship, foxes are regarded as messengers of the gods. The objects they hold in their mouths usually relate to farming, such as stalks of rice or the keys to rice granaries, symbolizing fertility and prosperity. Shrine buildings in a straight line. Right in front of the train station stands a Torii gate. Passing through it, you will see the low Mon gate, the outer worship hall, and the main sanctuary, all perfectly aligned in a straight row. Each of them is designated as an important cultural property. The low Mon is especially notable. It was donated in 1589 by Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the warlord who built Osaka Castle. The inner shrine Beyond the 1,000 gates lies the inner shrine, where prayers are offered to Mount Inari itself, regarded as a deity. One of the highlights here is the Omokalu stone, a popular ritual where visitors often wait up to 30 minutes in line. The custom is simple. Make a wish in front of a stone lantern, then lift the stone on top. If it feels lighter, the wish is said to come true. If heavier, it may not. Here's a little tip. If you first tell yourself, this stone must be really heavy, it often feels lighter when you lift it. The root rising pine. Just past the Torii gates next to the inner shrine, you'll find the famous root rising pine. Visitors believe that if you stroke the surface of the tree and then touch the part of your body that hurts, the pain will heal. It's also said that crawling through them brings good luck. The path to the summit. If you visit Fushimi Inari, be sure to aim for Sacred Mountain Summit. Along the way, you'll reach a junction called Yotsutsuji, where you can enjoy a wide panoramic view of Kyoto City. From here, the round trip to the top and back takes about 30 minutes. You have two options to climb to the summit, the left path and the right path, but we recommend going right and going counter-clockwise. Near the summit, there are about 200 steps. Taking the right route makes them a downhill walk, while the left side means climbing them uphill. Fushimi Inari is now very crowded, so if you plan to reach the summit with breaks, allow at least 3.5 hours. However, since the shrine is open 24 hours a day, visiting early in the morning lets you avoid the crowds. You can save time and also enjoy the shrine's mysterious, almost magical atmosphere. Aino Mine. Along the approach path lies Aino Mine, home to a very unusual Torii gate. This type of gate is called Nune Torii, and only 2 exist in all of Japan. Kojin Mine. Kojin Mine is another breathtaking viewpoint, rivaling Yotsutsuji. From here, you can see not only the cityscape of Kyoto, but on clear days, the view stretches all the way to Osaka. Shinto rituals. Shinto rituals are a special chance to experience Japanese culture firsthand. At Fushimi Inari, many ceremonies take place throughout the year. You can check the official website for the full schedule. If your trip coincides with one of these events, it's well worth joining to see the tradition up close.
Travel trivia. Japanese views on religion. Japan has about 100,000 shrines and more than 150,000 shrines and temples combined, roughly 3 times the number of convenience stores. Sometimes, you'll even find tiny Inari shrines on the rooftops of office buildings. In Tokyo's luxury district of Ginza, one sits on top of a department store. You might think Japanese people must be very religious. Yet around 60% of Japanese identify as having no religion. For most, prayer is less about faith in a doctrine and more about the simple act of quietly wishing for good fortune. Why non-religious despite so many shrines? This paradox is rooted in modern history. From the Meiji era until Japan's defeat in World War II, Japan promoted state Shinto to unify the nation under the emperor. Shinto was institutionalized, built into education and ceremonies, and used as a tool of national identity. However, after the war, the Allied occupation enforced a strict separation of religion and completely eliminated religious elements from government activities and educational settings. Religious teaching was stripped from schools, and for nearly 30 years, even the word religion was absent from junior high textbooks. Teachers avoided the subject altogether, so generations grew up without formal exposure to religion. As a result, many Japanese today feel distant from the concept itself. If you ask an ordinary person about Shinto, the common answer might be, "I don't really know." In 1995, the Tokyo subway sarin attack by the cult group Shinrikyo shocked the nation. The attack reinforced the idea that religion is dangerous and incomprehensible. In its aftermath, many public trash bins were removed or replaced with transparent ones to prevent hidden attacks. This is why visitors often wonder, why are there so few trash cans in Japan? With the rise of mass tourism, littering has become a hot topic. In Japan, the rule is simple. If there's no trash bin, you take your garbage home. Children learn this from an early age. For example, even elementary school field trip checklists include a plastic bag to bring your trash home. So remember, don't toss garbage on the street. Carry it with you, just like the locals do.
Fushimi Inari Taisha is truly unique, combining three elements: a vast sacred mountain, traces of personal devotion, and corridors of Torii gates created through donations. It is more than just the famous 1,000 Torii gates. By walking the mountain paths and offering your own prayers, you can experience Japanese culture on a much deeper level.